this course on career counseling, it is extremely important to understand why you should take your career choice seriously. In this video, we will help you understand the importance of making the right career choice for yourself. So, why is your career choice so important? It is important because it determines a lot of things in your life, including number 1, quality of life. Your career choice plays a huge role in deciding where you live, how flexible your life is, and the kinds of things you are able to do in your free time. Number 2, identity. Ask any elder person about their career and they will tell you about it as a part of their identity. They'll say something like, I am a journalist, instead of, I report news. Notice how everybody asks you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And not, what do you want to do when you grow up? This shows that your career choice shapes your identity. Number 3, impact. Every human life touches thousands of other lives in so many different ways. If you select any 60-year-old person who is about to retire, take a time machine, find him as an infant, throw that infant into trash, and then come back to the present day, you'll find that a countless number of things around you have changed. So whatever career you choose, the world will be affected by it. Anything that determines your quality of life, your identity, and the impact that you make should be taken very seriously. And that includes your career choice also. So we hope that this short video could help you understand the importance of making the right career choice. Having done that, we will now move forward to start our career counseling course. We are pretty excited and we hope you are too. So, let's begin. See you. Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 76th episode of Pro Bono's Daily Life Career Guidance podcast. So today, Samanth is flying back to his hometown, so probably you'll have to be here with me as a host. And thank you so much, everyone, whoever is here with us. And we are looking forward to your questions and comments later on. So, what is the topic today? Who are we with today? And that's a great question. So, I'll answer that. We have with us today Vinayak Kumar, who is a journalist and who is also a wildlife and street photographer. So we'll introduce him. So guys, Vinayak Kumar is a photographer and filmmaker, currently a final year master's student of journalism and mass communication. Photography has been a hobby of his for more than 6 to 7 years. He mostly does street, travel, and wildlife photography. He's also interested in film and production, and he has previously worked for Weber Shandwick, Wildlife Crime Control Bureau, Government of India, Ultimate Videotronics, and other freelance work. So, guys, today we have a very interesting new career profession to be discovered, and we'll welcome Vinayak. Thank you so much, Vinayak, for joining us. And whatever I mentioned, please address the audience and let us know that if I missed out on something.
Hello. Hi, Aditya. Good evening. And whatever you told was like the gist of it, whatever I have done till now. So basically, I have been interested in photography mostly because of my dad, because he also has been interested in photography, wildlife, and historical things, basically places, events, things like that. So he has been to almost all the wildlife national parks in India, and he has been writing about it. And he has his work, he has a job, but he does journalism for freelance stuff. Like he has done it for Hindu, the Indian Express, and he has written many articles for the newspapers as well. So I, as a kid, used to tag along with him, and obviously was interested in photography because he did quite well and I learned from him most of the things. So the interest was from you can say childhood, and the but I didn't like wildlife that much. I do like it, but I also like street and travel. Although wildlife is very interesting, but you can't do wildlife here in Noida right now. So and then I was interested in journalism. So in Amity, in my graduation also I did production internships in with Ultimate Videotronics, and there I learned many things. For example, video editing. I can say I'm pretty good at Premiere Pro. Pretty good. I can almost do anything in Premiere Pro.
Great.
And Final Cut Pro also I do can do it, but it's a Mac Windows kind of thing. And in now right now in Amity also I did an internship with my college only, and that there also I learned many things. I also learned After Effects, you can say. I don't know it professionally that well, but I can do it a little basic stuff. So filmmaking was also something I ventured into, like you can say, got interested because people around me did it, and films. Everybody, I was interested in making films. I was interested in watching films mostly, but in Amity, I guess I was interested in making films, and through the internship, I got an opportunity with WCCB, that is Wildlife Crimes Control Bureau. Uh, and like in the internship I learned a lot of things in production which I didn't know, how much effort it went into making films. And like in Amity we did films for all the institutions that Amity has, like neurosurgery, and biotechnology, and all these things. So got uh, I got interested in it very, I guess, quite a lot. And so I learned everything there, from the lighting techniques, what kind of lights you use, what kind of cameras, how I knew how to use cameras obviously. That's why I got selected in it almost. But cameras, video cameras, different video cameras, and lighting techniques, how to use butter papers. Butter papers are things like that get on top of lights, so that you can get a subtle light, and things like that. I learned a lot of things. Microphones knew how to use. I don't know exactly how to use microphones, but I learned a lot of things. And then I got selected for the WCCB project. That was a Government of India project that was given to Amity University. So we were selected as a team of 12, 12, 13, 15, I don't know, 13 members, I guess. And top authorities of our class, of our university, went with us. So it was kind of a big deal for me. I guess it was a very big deal for me that time. So, yes, I guess that's.
Great. And I think, I'll just get straight into it. So, how did your journey start? So, when you were in class 12th or let's say class 10th, how did you think about, okay, maybe I'll enter photography? And as you said, your father inspired you a lot in this field. So, what course did you decide to do? Because there are very few, or, rather almost no courses available formally in photography.
Yes, so I was in PCB, like physics, chemistry, biology in class 11th and 12th. But I wanted to do photography like always. But I guess I was interested in biology and things like that. Wildlife also kind of interested in me. Yes, and, so when I got after 12th, I thought I will do journalism. I wanted to shift in arts basically in class 11th also, but I couldn't do it because of things. Uh, I didn't could not score well or whatever. I didn't try enough. I was with my friends all the time, So I was basically in my class school only. So yes, after 12th, I thought I will do journalism. And like I got into Sharda because friends also were influencing, but Sharda was actually pretty good. There is no exact particular course for. I didn't know that much about photography as a course, but
Hmm.
there are many courses like uh, Delhi School of Photography. There is Delhi School of Photography that offers photography courses, but I guess those are mostly diploma courses and not full-fledged journalism courses as such. So I wanted a course that could also I didn't know what were the career prospects in photography were, or like my aim wasn't that clear, I would say, as a kid. So journalism was like my father told me to do it. I guess I wanted to do it also. That's why I joined in.
Great. And Vinayak, so you obviously you knew that you want to do photography in the future. You joined journalism to complement it in some regard, and you also touched upon briefly on upon the fact that what are the courses in journalism. So if you could delve a bit deeper into the courses in photography and let us know that what are the kind of courses which are on offer, and are the certificates of any use also, because you, as you said, these are diplomas. So are these certificates useful, or anyway they'll see what you can do as a photographer, so your skills are more important? Are those certificates of use? Like, do they help you somewhere? All these things, if you can tell us a little bit.
Okay, so Delhi School of Photography, my friend is there in Delhi School of Photography, and it's very good. I guess I think it's very great to get into Delhi School of Photography if you are interested in it, and everybody is basically interested in photography there, obviously, and there is no like there's an environment that is created, and it's very good if you join in, and if you're totally focused, and if you definitely get into it, get do you wanting to get into it photography, you should go there. The certificates are very helpful, and you can also get contacts there because at the end of the day you want to earn money, so you know what to do, and you'll know how to get into you'll get more opportunities if you go into that kind of stuff.
Right. And Vinayak, what about courses in journalism, since you are also pursuing that? And we haven't covered journalism yet, very surprisingly. Today is the 76th podcast, and today is a great. So, guys, we discover something new every day. That's also a lesson. And yeah, I would really love to also know what are the courses in journalism if our students are hearing, and how they can pursue one.
Okay, so journalism main like basic journalism, if you wanted to get into hardcore journalism, then journalism is like you have to get at least a master's degree, I would say. I would say uh, or you will like have to have a very good you should have certificates, I guess I would say. You should have internships in media houses, like Times Now offers media houses offers internships. My friend a friend is in Times Now right now, placed in Times Now, and there are many media houses that give internships, and if you get into it, obviously you have to study hard a little bit. You have to study, and you have to know what you have to always obviously know about the current affairs. Politics is the main. There are many beats in journalism. It's called beats. So there's journalism beat, there's political beat, there's sports beat, there's entertainment beat, and if you want to like get actually if you're actually interested in something, you should get right into it, not waste any time probably, and get uh, knowledge about what kind of internships you can do it, or your teachers will obviously help you. And yes, I guess that's it. I can't say more.
Great. So I think so there are a few bachelor's degree out there, for people who are listening into this. So there's a Bachelor of Arts in Journalism. There's something called the BJMC, which is Bachelor of Journalism and Mass Communication. So I think some great courses, as Vinayak said, to enter into the field of journalism. And as he very rightly suggested, we have to, also focus on a master's program if we do want to enter journalism full time as our career profession. Now, Vinayak, delving a bit into the journey. So you started off photography. So is it expensive to start off, because this is one of the professions which scares you from the outside, right? So you see that, oh my god, I need a DSLR, then I need accessories for it, I need a tripod, I need this, that, I need probably lighting. Do you need so much to start off, or do you just need a mobile? And obviously, you can be honest to us, just to give the future budding photographers a basic start.
Yes, obviously you will start off thinking that you will need more equipment, but a phone will do mostly, I guess. I think you just need to, you just want to photograph. I started off with a 1200D, so that is outdated actually right now. So, but I was very excited about it. The 1200D was a big thing for me, and when I got that camera, I was like, "बस अब तो मजा ही है." So I was like very interested in it, and I whatever I photographed was with mostly 1200D. And phone, as you said, phone photography is the biggest thing right now in social media, you can say. Everybody does phone photography, and it's cameras are, even basic phones have great cameras right now. Mm, Everybody is offering good cameras, and you can say that phone photography is like phone photography, and the distance between phone photography and camera photography is not far off, I will say. For a basic beginner, it's not even, I don't think it doesn't matter that much.
And how did you start off? So basically, see, you were doing a course in journalism, and so you did buy a 1200D. I do want to also ask you, how do you go on about learning photography? Because so is a course necessary? Do you need to outright start searching for an internship? Do you do it online? Like, where did majority of your learning come from?
I used to I used to go, like, there's a park right here in Noida, not a park, say Oakla Bird Sanctuary, and it's great place to photograph. Like, you can photograph many things there, and you can actually explore. And I just want, like, being there is a good experience, you can say. And photography, you can photograph many birds there. You can photograph uh, wildlife. You can photograph trees. You can photograph. Uh, there are many things that you can photograph there. And what was the other question you asked? I didn't get it.
Yeah, so how did you go on about learning photography? Did you learn majority of it online, or did you, learn majority of it on the internship? Like, how should I focus on learning photography if I'm a starter?
I learned photography, I can say, with from my dad also somewhat. I learned it, but mostly, yes, working in internships has helped a lot. Like, people who have already worked in the industry have experiences, and they'll tell you, advise you about things, and you can see them and learn a lot of stuff. And yes, that's it, I guess.
Great. So I think I have asked all my tangible questions. Now, I'll move on to somebody who asks a lot of great questions about photography, who can, talk about it much better in a much better manner than I can. So I asked all the questions of a novice. Now I'll transfer it on to somebody who is close to an expert, Mr. Sen.
Good evening, everyone. Namaskar. Welcome to the show. Welcome, Vinayak. It's great to have. So
Thank you.
it's very interesting because you're pursuing journalism, right?
Yes.
And along with journalism, you have photography because you have photojournalism. That's one of the things that are there.
Yes,
And there are many different journalisms that I know of. One could be the standard good old days, the writing journalism. Then you have the photo journalism. Then you have radio journalism. Then you have television journalism, and now you have social media journalism. If that's any way of putting it. So can you please explain a few of these to the audience so they quite understand what are the various options that are there?
Okay, so written journalism would be the best kind of journalism, I will say. Writing for newspapers is, I feel it is very good, and like print journalism, India is a very great place to have to get into print journalism. Print journalism, like people might think that social media is growing and all, but print journalism, India has the highest number of newspapers in the world, I guess. So and the readership is amazing. You can't uh, ignore that, and reading a newspaper is basically the first thing most people Indians do in the morning. And
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, India is one of the very few countries. Actually, if you look at it, the print media is very much part of our lives. It has not gone away.
yes, I don't think it has gone away. Like in urban India, you can say many people don't uh, read it, but print journalism is in India. It's very great. As far as I know, uh, Hindi newspapers are working very nicely, and English newspapers is also a great, very big thing in India. And print journalism, I guess, I think it's, and print journalism mostly, if you write in print journalism, the same thing goes online.
Yeah,
The exact same thing mostly
the
goes online.
content is the same.
The content is the same. So writing, if you know how to write, if you know how to, uh, if you're interested in something, like I'm interested in sports somewhat. So if you're interested in sports, you know what's going on in football or cricket. So you can write about it. You can easily write about it. It's not a big deal. Cricket, you can see cricket and you can write about people. You can write about whatever. You can write opinions on it, and you can write facts. I think print journalism is a good thing.
What
Great
about
thing.
radio journalism?
Radio journalism, I don't actually like that much, but radio journalism is, India has FMs that uh, FMs that broadcasts news, but in India, till recently, we didn't have private FM channels that could that could broadcast news. Recently, the the law has come up that uh, private FM channels can also broadcast news, but mostly AIR does it, All India Radio, and I don't know all other names, but FM channels it's also very good. My friends also do it. Amity has a good what do you call it? क्या कहते हैं? Community radio, that's said. Community
Correct.
radio maybe like people work, and people go on interviews. Whenever people come to Amity, they go get their mics up and go get their interviews. And yes, if you are interested in radio jockeying and everything, it's also a good thing, not a bad method of going. If you like talking very much, I think that's very good. You can get into radio journalism.
But would you say that the television journalism is perhaps the biggest, how do you call it? That's where all the money is right now in today's world.
Yes, TV, you can say that. Television journalism is obviously huge. The industry is very big, and television journalism, you can obviously, the ads are huge, the money is huge, and As far as I know, Arnab Goswami earns a lot. I don't know how much he earns, but I think he earns a huge deal of money. And just television journalism is also very like it's a big industry, I will say.
And what about the new trend that has come up? YouTube journalism. I don't know what you call it, but there's a lot of journalism that's going on in YouTube. You have these channels, YouTube channels who actually peddle out different types of opinion and give different types of news, and they have a very strong following.
Yeah, there is Dhruv Rathi, there is this Akash Banerjee. Then
There's so many
recently, I
of
think,
them, and they have a very dedicated following.
yeah.
And I don't even know whether they are. How does that work?
Okay, so Akash Banerjee actually came to Amity once, and I think he was very good. Whatever he was saying, I liked what he said. I guess he was Akash Banerjee. I don't remember. But YouTube is like very like it's most booming industry right now. You can say it's bigger than TV industry. Dhruv Rathi is an expert at almost everything. You can say people make many people. He has also many subscribers, and I don't follow Dhruv Rathi or anything. For YouTube, according to stats, it has more viewerships than Bollywood itself. Bhuvan Bam, Carrie Minati, and people like all these YouTubers, they can the stats behind it are very great because everybody's on a phone, everybody has a phone, and everybody sees trending things and whatever's on the news. Like Carrie Minati was on news recently, and he got messed up in some things. But YouTube is very big, and journalism, you can do journalism in it. Obviously, you need a phone, you need a camera, and you got to get into an event, whatever is happening in front of you. You can shoot it, and people are viewing it, and that's great, I guess, because money is there. YouTube में तो पैसा है काफी है YouTube में.
That's brilliant. So people, whoever is out there and they're interested in writing or journalism, taking photographs or whatever, taking videos, and I'm sure everybody takes, at least they take selfies. That much I can tell you. So I don't think selfie journalism is something that has yet come up, but I think it's not going to be long when we'll have selfie journalism. What do you think?
Yes, yeah, that could be.
That could be. Okay, that was on a lighter note. But when you're doing all this journalism, do you also understand the sound and audio process, how to set up a studio, the studio process, editing, and all that sort of things?
Studios. Just a second. Okay, so studios, the studios are not necessary in the first place, I will say. You can start without a studio. Studio is studios are for big media things, or like you can rent a studio in colleges also. You can ask for time, and you can then, if you want anything to shoot, you want to shoot anything, you can borrow the lights like for an hour or so. Or yes, if you're interested in it, you can get into studios. And but first of all, you have to learn how to do it. So then you'll have to learn it, and you'll have to learn editing. You said as in editing is not easy actually. I don't think editing is very easy. It's a
Yeah,
time.
I mean, and I'm talking about the 1970s, and it was said that editing is the most important and the most difficult part in any production.
Yes, editing is a time-taking process, I'll say. Like you have to you have to sit in front of a computer and do it for a long period of time. And I am not a kind of person that has so much patience. I like to do it like ऐसा लगता है भाई ख़त्म हो जाए जल्दी, पर थोड़ा उसमें है, टाइम लगता है उसमें चीज़ें सीखने के लिए ऑब्वियसली। बट एडिटिंग हाँ आजकल काफ़ी इजी हो गया है। लाइक यू सेड 1970s, उस टाइम पे तो बहुत मुश्किल होता होगा, पर आजकल तो लैपटॉप में कुछ एक ऐप चाहिए होगा एंड यू कैन डू इट। इफ यू वांट टू डू इट यू कैन डू इट।
Yeah. So, so would you suggest that to the people, if they want to get into journalism, which one they should focus on?
I would say the TV industry or the YouTube version, I'll say, because I am interested in that mostly. That's why I will say it. But it's like if you want to do good journalism and earn money, you can do YouTube and TV. TV industry is very great to do things.
Okay, that's very interesting, and that was very helpful for everybody out there. And I'm sure, this is one of the areas which actually employs a lot of people. The TV journalism, all sorts of journalism, because you have reporters who are freelancers. And you talked about your own father, who's been writing pieces in different, publications and all that. I know of people who are good at their work, whatever it be, and they write in various newspapers and channels, and they give their comments and opinions on various bits of news that come up. So yeah, it is quite a it's one of the most. I think this is one area which is mass employment, but it's totally informal.
You can say that. I guess.
Yeah. Now let's get to photography. That's a very interesting area, actually, if you ask me. Now, you started your photography and you said that you had 1200D.
Yes, sir.
Now, 1200D is a good camera, what I know of. It's a DSLR. Okay,
Yes, sir.
it's pretty recent. That it's 2014, and it's a 2014 model, right?
Yes, it's an old model. Yes.
It's an old model, but it's a pretty decent camera, and it's good to get your hands, set on it.
Yes, yes.
So now on photography side, have you pursued a formal photography course or diploma, certificate, degree, whatever?
Formal certificate? No, I don't. No, formal certificate. I don't have formal certificate. I learned it from myself mostly. I
Okay,
don't have
okay, great. Before I get into photography, what would you suggest to the people who are out there listening to us? That is it better to pursue a formal degree, certificate, diploma, whatever it may be, in journalism and complementing it with photography, which you can learn on your own, or to have a formal degree, certificate, diploma in photography, and the journalism is an add-on? Which one would you suggest?
I will say journalism as an add-on, I guess.
With
Because
photography being the main.
photography being the main.
Excellent. But what made you say that? Now, this is very interesting because people I know go in for journalism and mass communication, and Aditya talked about it. So you have a bachelor's of journalism and mass communication and all that sort of things. Chandigarh has a very good, DAV college, I think, has something in mass communication. They're pretty famous for it. Jamia University is one of the best in India in mass media and communication. Yeah, so you took that, okay, photography should be the main, supplemented by journalism. Any reason what made you say that?
Like if you want to get into photography, then journalism would be a secondary option, I will say, because because photography is something you have to do, like get into the act, to get into the, like you have to go there and do it. Photography
Correct.
is something, you can't do it on
Sitting
an
at
evening.
home, sitting at home on your dining table. No, you can't. Yeah, I agree.
You can't do it. Yes, you can't do it. You want to earn money through photography, then you'll have to do wedding photographs or uh, like other things like product photography or anything. So you have to get into you have to think to get into the field straight away, I will say. So if you're trying to get into wedding and product and things like that, you have to try to have the certificate of photography and do that. But in another case, if you want to get into photo journalism, like you're interested in photojournalism, although many people are not interested, I say. But if you want to get into photojournalism, then you'll photojournalism you have to do a journalism course also, because
So you
otherwise
have to
you'll
do
not.
both of them.
Yes, you have to both of them to do both of them.
Excellent.
Like
Now,
there's a photojournalist called Ravi Chaudhary. He works for PTI. So I don't know what course he did, but he's a great photojournalist. I feel he's very good. If you see his Instagram or anything, he's there everywhere. At any event, he is there. He's photographing. Even the protests of the CA and RC protests that are happening, people are afraid of going through metro or anything, but he was there on a helmet, with a helmet on his head, and he was photographing there. And it was like, if you see that, it's very inspiring. It's like he's risking his life or everything to just photograph, because it's fun. Like, you want to do it. It's not fun, but you're interested in it. You want to document it. That's a great feeling, I'll say.
I think photojournalism had started right from the World War One, if I'm not wrong, when photography came into mainstream. And you had photojournalists who were there in the front line of the war.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
and there were all these bullets flying past them and bombs going around all of them, and they were taking photographs, and they got prizes. They became famous. They were on the cover of almost all publications that you could think of.
Yes, yes.
And yes, they became household names.
Yes, even the recent Pulitzer Prize that Indian photographers won the Pulitzer Prize for the photography. That was, I don't know, for the photographs in Kashmir. You can check those photographs. Those photographs are very, I guess you can say that's very strong photographs. And Indian two photographs for three journalists won Pulitzer Prize for that photographs, and that was very nice. I really liked it.
You know, Aditya, in the last 3 minutes, I discovered something, that Vinay's passion is photography. His career is journalism. There is no question about that. Now, so let's stay with photography for a moment. So you have very different, whole range of genres for photography. You have photojournalism, you have advertisement, you have food photography, you have city architecture photography, you have street photography, you have landscape, you have wildlife, you have people, you have fashion, you have, I mean, almost everything. So what would you say to that?
I didn't get the question. I'm sorry.
No, I said that in photography, there's so many genres. So you have
Okay.
food, you have city architect or city landscape, if you want to call it. You have architecture photography, you have wildlife photography of normal landscape, you have photojournalism, you have, that's news, that's pure news. So there are many, many different lines, you know, people, and your wedding, which is perhaps the most lucrative. I know that a wedding photographer starts for a standard wedding at anywhere between 1.25 lakhs per shoot. And it,
Yes,
and it goes up to like 10 lakhs, 12 lakhs, 50 lakhs, depending on what they do.
yes. Wedding photography is very uh, high yielding business, you can say. If you get into wedding photography, you'll earn a lot of money. You'll be happy for it. You'll and you'll also always get the food, I guess.
Yeah, you'll always get the food. That's a very important part.
Yes, and wedding photography is very nice. Like for getting into if you want to earn money through it, wedding photography is very great, and other photographies, as you said, like wildlife photographies, I'll say, for an example. Wildlife photography can be, if you're interested in it, like you can earn from there also. Like people, I can't get names right now, but there are people who charge many, like even I don't know exactly lakhs or how much, but they charge many rupees for you. They'll take you to a place and they'll uh, charge you for the travel purposes, the staying purposes,
Correct,
and
correct, correct, correct. So they do photo tourism, wildlife photo tourism.
you can
Yes.
say that, yeah. That's also a great thing.
So there are many options and career options after doing photography, isn't there?
Yes, definitely.
So now, when did you start photography?
I started, I guess,
2013?
I don't remember the year, 9th, 10th, I guess, 9th,
Yeah,
10th
so you
class.
started pretty early. That's good. That's when you start actually.
Yes, you can say that.
And so, which part of photography excites you the most?
Photography, like I said, how Ravi Chaudhary did it. Like I want to go out and shoot. Just I think that's the best thing. That's the best. That's the most exciting thing I can do. I like to shoot photography and shoot wildlife, a street. Like I want to be there in the, like you can say, I want to be there in the moment. Whatever is happening, I like to photograph it, and like you can like at the moment during lockdown, कल परसों कुछ वो था, क्या कहते हैं, there was an eclipse, lunar eclipse. So I went up to the chat and I tried to photograph that also.
Oh yeah.
हाँ, so मतलब अच्छा है, क्या करेंगे घर पे बैठ के ऊपर जाके फोटो खींच लो, उससे अच्छा. So I
True.
was
So
interested.
actually the sky is the limit, and you went to the sky to photograph the sky. There are people I know, they spend they have a career in photographing stars, Milky Ways, and all that sort of things. And so there are lots of options out there. Uh, so you also know about photo editing and uh, all the processing, post processing, and everything, I suppose.
फोटो एडिटिंग, हाँ, फोटोशॉप आई नो थोड़ा बहुत, ज़्यादा नहीं आता फोटोशॉप
Here is
मुझे,
the thing.
because I don't like to
Here is
edit
the
my
thing, and
photos.
thank you, Vinayak. People who are passionate about photography do not use Photoshop.
हाँ, yes,
They
I
they,
completely
they
agree.
take it directly from whatever the camera has taken.
Yes, I like to do that. I only मतलब थोड़ा बहुत enhancement चलेगा, like
Yeah.
lights
So
अगर
yeah,
थोड़े कम हो गया
yeah,
वो बढ़ा
yeah.
लो. But you should not edit. I don't like editing things. You can people put their faces on it or do whatever they want. That I don't like. And that's not photography. That's just editing.
Yes, and basically, yeah, you do that, and what we used to call in good old days when the film used to be there, it used to be called, putting filters on it. So you put different types of filters to get a different color effect, but that's about it. And
Yes.
you might cut off the edges a bit. That is okay.
Yes. Cropping and that can be done.
Yeah.
That is.
But otherwise, Photoshop is for people who are in for, how do I call this? They're in to make an impression. I believe a photographer does not want to create an impression. The photographer just wants to record something from his or her perspective, put it out there for the audience to make their opinion.
That you said it right. Exactly.
Yeah. So it's, and now I want to come to street photography, which you said is your favorite.
Yes, one of my favorite.
Now, street photography, folks out there, let me tell you, is the most intimidating thing that you can ever try, because you're taking a camera and pointing it at someone's face and taking a photograph, a perfect stranger on a road, in a strange place, and you'll feel very, like, oh my God, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? So, Vinayak, can you tell us about it?
Street photography is basically shooting whatever you see on the streets, and like very anything that is interesting, that can speak, like that can tell a lot more. Or just a second. So yes, street photography. Like I went to Kumbh last year. So street photography वहाँ पे you can say कि वहाँ पे तुम street photography अच्छे से कर सकते हो, like events वहाँ पे जो
You land up with
snans.
500 photographs a day, easily.
हाँ, I can say that 500 is easily. Kumbh was a very different experience, like one of the best experience I would say, because there are so many people. You can get lost in a second there. You can't, you don't know where you are. Like in the, I'll share a story. So in the morning of this, there's a great snan that's called a great Kumbh. Kumbh goes on for a month or so, and but there are only 4 or 5 days that are not 4 or 5 days. I don't know exactly, but there are important days where the all the sadhus come and get into the snan, get into the water and dip. So that day we had to wake up, like that starts at 4 a.m. in the morning. So if you want to photograph that, you need to like get at 4 o'clock obviously, and then go to the water
In that cold.
in that cold. Yes, it was very cold. It was very cold, very cold, and you have to get into the water, chilling water, before the sadhus come, because there are many sadhus and there are wild. Those people you can't if you get in between of them, you're going to get
Trampled.
Yes, you're going to get trampled. And from where I was, me and one friend were at the Kumbh. So वहाँ से जब हम गए थे पानी तक, तो it was a task. वहाँ से पानी तक जाना ही बहुत बड़ा task था. It was like 2-3 kilometers away. तो वहाँ तक you have to go, and then you have to get into the water, chilling water, and wait. Like my friend waited for almost 6 to 7 hours. They not waited, he was photographing for 6 to 7 hours. और मेरा उसी दिन फोन भी डूब गया था. तो I was like, oh shit, I can't do it. तो मैंने काफ़ी देर रहा. So I photographed for a lot of time. I knew my phone was gone, and like I was scared for a bit, but then I was like, I have to photograph. इतनी दूर आया है, photograph तो करना ही पड़ेगा. तो then I photographed that. फिर उसमें तब then what happened कि मेरे फ़ोन में भी, मेरे कैमरा में भी पानी आने लग गया था थोड़ा बहुत. तो मतलब पानी तो था ही पूरा ही. तो I was like, अब मैं कैमरा भी नहीं खोना चाहता. I was like, let's get out of it, and then I photographed for a little while, and then I got out of it. And after that I realized कि भाई फ़ोन तो है नहीं, अब मैं उसको फ़ोन कैसे करूँगा मेरे दोस्त को. तो उस थोड़ी देर बाद वो भी बहुत देर रहा. He is also very passionate about photography, so he got better pictures though. I'm jealous of that, but but then I got somehow I contacted somebody. I took phone of a police officer, and I contacted him, and then we got okay हाँ मिल लिया हम. बस नहीं तो फिर मेरे साथ भी वही हुआ था, कुंभ के मेले में खो जाना टाइप्स. पर कुछ हुआ नहीं उस दिन, बट दैट वाज अ वेरी गुड एक्सपीरियंस आई विल से. मतलब फोन गया मेरा, घर पे भी मेरी वाट लगी थी काफी, पर that was very great experience, I'll say. Kumbh is very interesting, very good experience. Everyone should go to a Kumbh Mela once.
So there you go, folks. I mean, if you are passionate about photography, you go to some places and then you experience it. You drown yourself in it. And Vinayak literally drowned himself in the water. His phone went in at least.
Yes, my friend's shoes also got lost that day.
So yeah, you should be prepared to lose a few parts of your body when you do want to photograph. But that's part of the game, I think. But one thing I think, Vinayak, I need your comment on this, is photography means you get up before the sun rises to get the best photographs. So when everybody is sleeping, and if it's a cold climate, you get the better photographs before the sun rises, and you wake up shivering, and you need to go out and get those photographs.
Yes.
But they're very rewarding. And the other time when you get the best photographs is sunset and about 30 minutes after sunset. That's where everybody is having fun and partying and, going out for a party or something. And you're out there in the cold or whatever it may be, trying to get that picture that's going to make your future. What do you have to say about it?
I think yes, because you said it. You have to be, if you want to be better than others, then you have to work harder, I'll say, because everybody, there are many people who are passionate about photography. So I know many friends who are into photography and that. But you need to be prepared for everything that you do, and you need to think it out, I will say, and you have to be there at the moment, and you have to photograph, and you have to just photograph whatever you want to do, but you have to photograph the moment you want to. Like you think, you see कि मतलब एक बार विजुलाइज तुम कर लेते हो कि हाँ मैं ऐसा कुछ खींचना चाहूँगा, तो वो तुम्हें करना है, तो you have to do it one way or the other. You have to just do it, I'll say.
Yeah, you have to just do it. And when people say, wow, that's a great photograph, that's when you feel good.
Yes, that's the best feeling. Like if you, अगर कोई तारीफ तुम्हारी फोटोग्राफी तारीफ कर दे तो लगता है बस और कुछ चाहिए ही नहीं.
That's brilliant. On that note, I want to hand over to Aditya for the audience questions. I think we have covered a lot of stuff.
Yes, we have, and I think that story about Vinayak losing. I hope So Mr. Seth said that in Kumbh Mela you might be prepared to lose a few body parts. I hope that does not happen. Only you lose a few equipment. That's still okay. Body parts won't come back. So yeah, I think but that was a pretty immersive experience, figuratively and literally. काफी इतना immerse कर दिया कि मतलब पानी के अंदर जाके जूता वूता खो दिए. That's really good.
वो दिन ऐसे ही था. मतलब अच्छा था, ऐसे कुछ नहीं था, but okay.
No, but the good part is that your friend at least got a few good photographs.
Yes,
there is something I just want to mention as an afterthought. Sorry, Aditya.
No, I was saying.
Yeah, in photography there are two things. One thing is the technicality, getting things technically perfect. With the everything is technically perfect. The other thing is the moment is perfect. So that time technicality is not required. The moment is all important. And
Right.
The third aspect is how you compose it, how you compose the scene, what you put into it and what you leave out of it. I think I belong to the second and the third categories. Technicality, you can always learn. It's something that comes by practice. Yes, and by trial and error. You don't really need a big thing. But composition is something that you have it and you build on it. And being in the moment is all about timing.
You summed it up, sir.
Absolutely.
So Aditya.
So yeah, there are a few audience questions, and first question is by Ankita. So she asks, "What makes a photographer good? Is it to do with technicalities, the theme of the photos, location, or personal emotional investment?"
I think the first would be personal and emotional investment. Uh, Baki, Baki, you can whenever you are interested in it, you can get more content of like phone photo. As I said, phone se bhi you can photograph, and then you'll obviously if you earn it, and then you'll get a better camera. Better cameras will work, but personal and emotional investment is the first thing I say.
Yeah, I agree with Vinayak because that goes into what you compose. And I can tell you something that once, when, many years ago, many years ago, uh, I was dragged out of my bed at a seashore in Orissa somewhere, and I was taken out to go to the seashore at sunrise. So I went to the sunrise and took some photographs. There was a lot of emotion, there was a lot of anger, but there was a lot of other things as well. And surprisingly, that photograph won a prize.
Wow. Did
Yeah,
you get money?
no, I didn't get money. I got some silver something. I don't know what
Oh,
happened.
nice. Still good, yeah.
Like you don't have your medals hanging at the back, so I got something like that.
Oh, acha, it is hidden basically by the curtains.
Oh, yeah, right. There you go. Right, Aditya. I'm sorry, I'm hijacking your questions.
No, no, Mr. Sen, no issues at all. I think we always get to learn something from your wisdom and from your experiences. I think you have lots of it. So I think, yeah, this is one nice coincidence. So we have a Vinayak Kumar in the comment section who is our teammate also. So he asks, one of the biggest problems with photography that enthusiasts claim is the cost of expensive equipment. In your opinion, is this a major hindering factor? If not, can you suggest ways to get around this issue? So I think we have already addressed this initially a bit, but Vinayak, if you could kind of delve a bit deeper into it.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question. मेरे घर वाले आ गए.
कोई बात नहीं. So basically, another Vinayak Kumar from the comment section asks, who is a teammate, he asks that फोटोग्राफी के साथ प्रॉब्लम ये है कि enthusiasts जो है वो कहते हैं कि इक्विपमेंट का कॉस्ट बहुत ज्यादा है, right? And so we just want to know your opinion. Is this a hindering factor? And if not, what are the ways to go around this cost factor?
DSLR like जैसे मैंने बोला था मेरे पे 1200 I had 1200D, then I shifted, then I had, and then right now I have 700D. So people with better cameras don't necessarily not necessarily are better photographs, I'll say. But if you want to get around this problem, I'll say कि you can you can rent some. If you want to go into photography, some tours or something, you can rent. There are renting places at it, and or you can borrow with a friend. I will say, बस तोड़ना नहीं चाहिए उसे.
मतलब फ्रेंड का कैमरा लेकर कुंभ मेले में नहीं जाना.
Okay,
ये तो खो जाएगा.
let me give a hint on this. Perhaps the best lens for photography is the cheapest, which is a 50 millimeter lens. So if you can get a 50 millimeter lens, is the cheapest thing that you can get. It's I don't know how much it is in India. It'll be less than 10,000, I think. And I'm not quite sure how much it is nowadays. And if you can get hold of any DSLR and a slightly older model, you'll get it very, very cheap. It does precisely the same thing with absolutely no difference. And that's what you can do. So you look for second-hand cameras, which was very much, and there's a big market for them there. There are some ways you can actually test out the camera, and they allow people to test out cameras, so you can use it and they test it out. And once you feel okay, yeah, this one works well and all that, you can then invest in it. So there's a big second-hand market. You have them on online also. You can buy them on eBay and all those sort of things. that you can get used cameras and all that. And you go in for 3-4 year, 5-year older models, which are pretty good. You get yourself a normal, it's called a normal lens because it replicates the closest to a normal sight that we have.
50 mm.
So that's 50. Actually, our vision is 45 millimeter this way. This
Right.
way. But the 50 mm is very close to that. You have 45 millimeter lenses, but they are very expensive. So go for a very simple, normal 50 millimeter lens, and you have it. You're in business.
That's great advice from Vinayak and Mr. Sen combined. And I hope, Vinayak, in the comment section, you got your reply. So, Vinayak, two last questions from my end. So, one is, if we want to have a look at your photographs and learn something from you, where can we find you? Are you active on Facebook, Instagram?
I'm active on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Vinayak Kumar. My name only.
Oh, great.
And Vinayak Kumar with
That's
only
your W,
1K.
right?
With only 1K.
Okay, Vinayak Kumar.
Yes.
Okay, Vinayak Kumar together.
Yes, together.
Great. I've also typed this out in the comment section. So, guys, if anyone in the comment section or anyone who's watching wants to get in touch with Vinayak or wants to have a look at his photographs, now you have his Instagram handle. I hope you don't spam him too much, but do definitely contact him if you need help or if you need any advice on photography or if you want to discuss anything else with him. And Vinayak, last question from our side would be, what is your advice to any person who's in school, high school, or college right now to start up with photography?
My advice would be to like दोस्तों का मत देखना कि क्या बोल रहे हैं मेरी फोटो खींच या फिर क्या ये वो अब मतलब if you have a camera, if you have a phone and you want to photograph, you just go out there and photograph whatever you want. Like अभी lockdown में भी you can photograph from your balconies, from your buildings. You can photograph at your home also. And if you want to do it like if any kind of photography, you can do it. There are many photography competitions out there right now also. And if you want like career advice तो मैं नहीं दूंगा क्योंकि मैंने I am not a professional right now, but if you want to become a photographer, you'll have to work hard and you'll have to photograph, and you'll not have social media will not make you a photographer or anything. You doing your work and you doing your photography every day or whenever you get free time, that will make you like that will get you closer to your dreams, I'll say.
Can I just add on?
Sure, Mr. Singh.
For the thing. Okay, there's one thing which I think it will be good for everybody to be aware of. We are now seeing a lot of megapixels. This phone has 48 megapixel, 96 megapixel, and all that. The advice over here is megapixels do not make a great photograph. They don't. The best cameras out there are maximum 16 megapixel. Most of them are 12.5. That's the best cameras in the world. So the rest of it is just as a marketing gimmick. What is more important is pixel per inch. Which is your concentration of pixel is, how much your thing, the light is that is captured by one of those things. I think you guys know it better than I do, but yeah, that is more important. So guys, and they'll charge you your arm and a leg and something else if you're going in for more megapixels. The
Right.
lower megapixels are not that expensive, but they are the better ones. Because the ratio is simple. Lower megapixels is higher pixel per inch, and higher pixel per inch gives you better photographs.
And that, my friends, is great advice. So, guys, do definitely look at the other things also, not just the megapixels. The pixels per inch is also a very good criteria, or other criterion to buy a mobile phone or a camera if you're buying one.
Yeah, so don't waste your money. Don't waste your money on higher megapixels.
Very true, very true. And I think this is something that I've experienced also. And I think Mr. Sen very beautifully put it in words. And thanks, Vinayak, for your career advice. Thank you so much for gracing the podcast with your presence. And I think
Thank you so much for having me.
it was a great experience for all of us, as hosts. And I'm pretty sure for the audience also to learn from you, to learn about the intricacies of photography, to learn about journalism also. That's one thing we did not expect too much before coming into this. I did not know that, you were studying journalism also. So that's one great thing we got to know. So I think, guys, we covered two new careers today. We covered journalism, we covered photography, and it was great to do that. Thank you, everyone, so much for attending this podcast. Those who are watching live, those who will watch the recorded version. And stay home, stay safe, wash your hands. And Samant was saying that, he'll take out stay at home from the intro. But why I have kept it is because, guys, the cases and the number of cases of corona in India is increasing a lot, right? And if you do have a look at the news, or if you can just run a simple Google search, you'll get to see that it is exponentially increasing. And Mr. Sain sent me a photo on WhatsApp, which is very truly depicting that when corona cases in India had started coming in, we panicked a lot, which was justified also. But now that the cases are increasing so much, we're not panicking, because apparently we have lost patience. Apparently, we have spent too much time at homes and we have started to get irritated. But guys, this is the time to actually stay at home. The number of cases is increasing very highly. So anyone who is watching this, please stay at home. Please stay safe. Only go out if it is extremely urgent, even to get groceries. Try to stay as much home as you can. And if you really need to go out, then only go out. And convey this message to your friends and family also. Take care of yourselves, because this is a very difficult time. But if we stay together in this, and if we follow the right precautionary measures, I think we'll get through this in the best manner possible. Otherwise, the number of cases might increase even more. And that will be a dangerous situation. So, friends, do definitely please stay at home. And yeah, we'll not take that out of the outro. Basically, the point was that. And take care of yourselves, take care of your family members. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m., same time, with a new guest and talking about a new topic, a new career option. So do like Pro Bono's page and follow post notifications. And see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.